We are live. We are back again here at DevHub Live. Thanks for joining us. This is episode 27. Crazy to think we've been doing this now for 27 weeks now. This has been going great. I hope everyone's recovering from Redacted. It's been a awesome event. So much stuff has come out of it. Really great stuff. And we're going to talk all about Redacted. We're going to talk about some things that are coming up. We're going to talk about the hackathon. The prizes have been awarded. We have winners. I'm excited to share those. If you haven't seen them already, we're going to walk through some of the projects. I'm not going to go through every single prize. Again, if you don't remember, there was over $700,000 worth of prizes. There was tons of stuff to earn. So we're not going to go through every single winner and what they actually did, but we are going to highlight all these and kind of show them off. You can always go back to the Redacted Dev Post site, and you can see everything there. And that's where I'm going to show you stuff from there. We'll also talk a little bit about some of the stuff that went on at the conference. I'm going to highlight a couple different videos that I think are relevant to developers, especially not just getting excited in alpha and all that other stuff, which is all great, and everyone wants to numbers to go up, right? But really, if you're trying to build, there's some videos that have already been released, and there are more clips coming. So if you are looking for stuff specifically, that's all going to be on the Near Protocol YouTube channel. So I'm going to walk through all of that stuff as well too. Basically, if you have any questions, if you want to highlight anything, you have any comments, please feel free to add them to the chat. I'm happy to kind of go off on tangents if needed, and we can spend a little bit of time talking about some different stuff that went on. Let's first jump into the hackathon. So a lot of great prizes, a lot of winners. The cool thing here is if you go to the dev post site, here, let's just change this view a little bit. There we go. If you go to the dev post site, you can go in and you can see actually what the project was, what they won. So for example, we can click into like Night Watcher. They won Zeta Block Bounty, and you can see their preview video, you can see their explanation, all that stuff, and so get a sense of like how and what they did, and then you can obviously see how that fits into what the prize that they won. So some really great stuff here. This one here right off the bat, right? So this is chain agnostic. It's looking for some fraud detection stuff, which is pretty cool. And overall, again, I really encourage people to just kind of check some of these out. We have things like Near UBot, which was a winner. Again, Zeta Block. So this was, again, just integrating things like Zeta Block. Calamero Data Privacy Bounty. A user, a private encrypted peer-to-peer messenger to send people reply incentives. If they answer you, they receive a reward. Interesting concept. Leveraged Calamero. Pretty cool. So you can see what they did for that. And what the prize was, they got second place for that. So that's awesome. You have things like chain sleuths, wallet analyzers, a lot of stuff, looking at fraud detection and things like that, tracking what's on chain. And you're going to see a lot more of that, especially with AI and all the data that's available in blockchain. It kind of makes sense for all those things to go together. So definitely pretty cool stuff there. If we go back to, let's go to the first page. So we'll start down here. So here's one, right? So you can do something right here where it's icons and fans create signed mints. Since this was through Aurora, this was a wildcard project. So it looks like they were leveraging Aurora to do some AI prompt and minting. Pretty neat. Another Aurora prize, so Chicken Merge and War Game, Modu Pop Bubble Shooter. This was another Aurora one. So built on EVM. If you don't know what Aurora is, it's just the EVM layer that's sitting on top of Near. And again, I encourage you, if you want to learn more, just click through. You can see the videos. There's some great stuff in here. Prompt to earn games. Kind of a play on Tamagotchis. Again, another Aurora. Again, built off of on EVM. And again, it looks kind of like based around, if you remember the old Tamagotchi, how that would work, try to keep your thing alive. So pretty cool. Uh, so here's one that's interesting. So chain agnostic track, they won this. This is train AI models at 1/10 the cost using a blockchain powered network of distributed GPUs. So again, this is nothing, overly not end user necessarily, but this is a really interesting project of leveraging compute power and things like that. So very cool. Uh, we have something here called Super Near. AI powered blockchain interface, natural language to interact with the near blockchain. This is something that we're seeing a lot of through just different projects. Especially, we'll talk about intents and what intents are, and kind of that some projects that are coming out of that and stuff that you can build on top of as well. This fits into all of that. And again, it makes sense that using AI and natural language and all of that stuff to interact is a neat idea. A lot of gambling projects were in here, but some of them definitely absolutely were winners. Gamble on social predictions, again, definitely a big thing with like the poly market and everything else. I think that kind of stuff is really pretty interesting. This one actually won two different ones. This was an Aurora bounty as well as a chain agnostic bounty. So pretty cool. That's what we talked about, stacking bounties. That was an opportunity for anyone to kind of come in and leverage some of that. So pretty cool. We actually even had some infrastructure type of stuff too. So again, initiated by a tweet challenge in 2022 for combining Rust and JavaScript layer for customizing smart contracts, and how you can actually take this further with open AIs. So this is pretty neat. So this is what a prize honorable mention to the native track. So it was based off of a tweet here, an idea of providing JavaScript runtime inside a smart contract. So pretty neat. And so you can actually uh, have tokens and everything else using JavaScript, what's already within a smart contract. It's pretty cool. So again, sometimes it's not necessarily just a consumer-based product. It can be stuff like that. Another on-chain LLM search engine. Uh, let's see what this one is. Near and dear. Don't let big tech capitalize your hard work. Take full control of your AI creations, keeping it near and dear. Very clever name. This was native track honorable mention. So help you kind of build your own custom LLM. Cool. I think again, this is all, you can see a lot of this stuff. We talked about Dead Project Snipper on our last episode, as we were just kind of previewing some things. Another speaking to the chain, Vox chain, prompting you to share spontaneous moments, so rewarding that. So a lot of stuff around, again, incentivizing sharing, connecting, things like that. Custom indexer, uh, security audit, we talked about that one before. uh, Pools for investing, more betting, another kind of crawler based thing. And I think this is stuff where you can start to see trusty byte. Let's look at this one here. On-site devices capture sensor data, include vision insights, security blockchain, provide cleanliness and food freshness. Interesting. So kind of looking at actually health scores and everything else, and understanding, let's see, using information of things in blockchain provide robust food safety information, like food spoilage and hygiene practices. Clever. So that way you can kind of verify, a restaurant's actual rating, what they're doing, stuff like that. Pretty cool. Another on-chain agent AI, near yield. So let's see what we got here. So native track winner number 3. So this was third place. We can spend a little bit of time with this here. We are developing an innovative AI platform designed to transcend traditional boundaries. Our mission is to enable AI to interact seamlessly with any on-chain data across networks, unrestricted limitations. So there's a collaborative hub where you can create, share, and own AI tools, agents, and collectively advance the capabilities. Pretty cool. So again, looks like it's doing stuff cross-chain, so it's connecting multiple things. It's leveraging user-owned AI. So really trying to hit all of the key signatures here on near yield. What we got here. Near Yield is a multi-chain AI-powered platform that simplifies DeFi investing, matches users with top yield opportunities across blockchains, sets the risk profile. So this is leveraging now. It looks like chain signatures because it's doing stuff cross-chain, finding the best yield across those. So you're not getting limited to per chain, and then determining different risk levels based off of that and using AI to actually model and look at different yield farming and what that looks like. So a lot of opportunities there. And from a DeFi perspective, uh, this is something you're trying to do manually now, you'll know how much of a pain this can actually be. It's hard to do a lot of the research around this. It can be time consuming. So a tool like this that's actually actively seeking it out for you is pretty interesting. And then the last one here, BetVex, BetVex, community-powered esports betting application. Uses a part of the platform, so if they stake the native token, they're distributed rewards from the betting contract. Easy onboarding, good odds with low overhead. So it sounds like, again, it's a community based. So I'm guessing it's kind of pooling based betting, and there's a DAO governance tied to it and everything else, and you can stake to earn as well. So obviously a lot of work went in here. So it's combining DAOs, it's combining chain signatures, it's listed some custom contracts for some betting and stuff like that. And you can see all this stuff here. Pretty cool. A lot of great stuff to look at from there. Nice. So overall, I would say that there are some really awesome projects. There's some great projects that didn't win a prize too. Everything that was submitted is all here for you to see. So 215 eligible submissions. So definitely go through, check those out. Some good stuff there. They have their code uploaded also to GitHub too. You can check it out if you want to learn a little more of how certain things were built and stuff like that. So great stuff. The Redacted conference that just happened this past weekend in Bangkok was a success. A lot of really interesting things came out of it, and I'm gonna start with here. Let's see. I don't know.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Ilya. Okay. So this first video here is Ilya's kind of intro, presents kind of what the vision is coming for Near. I would absolutely take the 20 minutes and kind of just watch through. There is some summary here as well. I'm sure AI wrote that. Basically, though, there's some key things that are coming out of here in that he goes into some, not super detail, but does definitely gets into more detail than that we'll talk about just today. The launch of Nightshade 2.0, while that originally happened a little while back, there's been more upgrades to the chain and protocol, and I think that stuff is really important to be aware of, especially from a performance as you start to look at projects that need to scale and projects that need to actually uh, be at both the speed and support for a large number of users and everything else. It's definitely something to focus on, and I'll show you Bowen's talk as well that highlights a little bit more of that. Obviously, user-owned AI is a big piece of this, right? So Near being the AI chain is an important part of all of this, and just talking about what that really means. So if you're unsure of what does that term reference and why does Ilya keep saying that, this is a good kind of intro to that. Chain abstraction and cross-chain functionality. That's a big piece, especially for, again, building out AI agents, being able to interact across chains. It opens up things on DeFi, which again are a lot big opportunity for people. So stuff to check out there too. AI assistant agent framework. That's a big piece of kind of the productization of what Near is starting to put out and talking about what that looks like, as well as other projects that are building from there. And so that's the intent piece. And so that I'll show that in a second here, but we'll talk a little about how you can actually leverage that yourself as a developer and build from there, which is again the shift to intent-based transactions, which again is something that is a term that I think people have heard but maybe don't really fully understand, and so he kind of jumps into that a little bit. And with that being said, if you are interested as well, so there is a page called, if you go to the near.org site, you can go to platform intents up here, and you can get a sense of what actually this all is. And basically, intent allows the AI to, start to transact on your behalf, but it also gives a lot of opportunity to be creative and have some new use cases, and it doesn't have to be the traditional blockchain type of stuff. There's projects right now that are leveraging it, also have APIs as well with that stuff. So you can see some of the different things that are here already. And then if you want to start building, here you go. Here's the short mini roadmap of intents right now. The support for Near, Aurora, Ethereum, Bitcoin, so all EVM pretty much. But there's more specific support with Solana coming, Arbitrum-based ton, and then additional intents also will be supported as well in 2025. So things to kind of just be on the lookout for around this. That's all here. Okay, let's go back to some other talks that I think are important. So one of the big ones here from a builder perspective,
First of all, thank you.
Just getting started is here, right? So building on Near, the complete guide for app developers. Guillermo works here at DevHub. He helps out with dev relations and helps run that group. I would really encourage you to, again, take the 20 minutes, go through the different resources. We have so many new resources. If you've been here for a little while, a lot of stuff has really changed and improved. And so I would encourage you to kind of go check that out, specifically around like our main dev portal, which is dev.near.org. You can see down here scrolling below. Or if you go through our different support channels, you can always ask questions. But we have templates, updated docs, all kinds of different things that you really can start to kind of get going with that. So this is one definitely to get started from a builder's perspective. Again, even if you have been building for a little while, I think that's important. Now, let's say you've been building and you are ready to become a founder. You are
Good afternoon.
Just a hacker. You are ready to dive in to everything. And so Jared Barnes has a wonderful talk. Again, it's short. It's just 8 minutes. So it's easily digestible. You can have it during your lunch break, of how we're going to start empowering founders more on Near and some different opportunities that are available. And the goal is that hopefully you can go from, hacker to builder to founder and continue and stay within the Near ecosystem and still be able to build the product that you want to build, whether that's cross-chain or not. So definitely something to check out here. Again, great little talk about some different funding initiatives and things like that, as well as actually mentorship and other different kinds of support that all go into this. All right, let's go. And then I referenced back before to Bowen Wang's talk about Nightshade and the actual protocol and how
Hey, everyone.
it all works. This is a great talk breaking down how Near has really scaled, where it is today, where it's continuing to go. What does dynamic sharding really mean, and what does that look like? The separation of consensus and execution, which is really an interesting part. Maybe you don't fully understand maybe all of the different protocol pieces. You don't have to as a developer, but it's just good to know like what the road roadmap and plan actually start to look like for a developer. And if you are looking to build here long term, if you're looking to actually scale your product, what does that start to look like, and what's available to you as well? So different options there. But great talk. Another shorter one, just 12 minutes. Really breaks everything down of how this is all going to work. So that I think that's another good one to check out here in the early days, just after the conference, in case in case you missed it originally, or even if you watched the one first time, watch it again. All right. So part of all of this, though, and part of this push, and even with the AI and everything else, is being able to actually interact across
So,
chains and be able to actually really interact with crypto as a larger ecosystem, not just about not just about the liquidity that is in one spot, or where your users are in one spot, but really leveraging all of crypto as best as possible to do that. So one of the things that Kendall goes into here is, what are these capabilities actually, and what does it really mean to actually have interoperability with different chains, and what an Omni bridge looks like, and how does that actually happen and provide this experience. Part of this too then allows for decentralized autonomous agents. So we're talking about building agents. What does it start to actually look like? How can you start having an agent that, again, is able to interact and do things on its own in support of a particular set of commands and goals? And then again, the parts that have been here at Near since day one, things like account abstraction, how that all comes together and allows these type of apps to be super powered. There are certainly other people in other projects and other chains who are doing chain signature type things. They are trying to do stuff around chain abstraction, and there are some things that are native to Near right now that are there, that are available, that start to separate things a little bit. So Cal does a nice job of pulling that all together. Again, this is a 12-minute talk. You can certainly get through this, and it gives you a nice setup of what that looks like. Oh, perfect. It's right up here.
hey
Another
everyone.
one is the illusion of speed, and I really like this one a lot, because it's something that as a developer I've been trying to do now for a few years in crypto, and it's something that often gets overlooked, that you can actually start to accelerate the user experience for the slowness of the blockchain sometimes. And Near is fast transactions. Everything's happening in milliseconds. Everything is pretty quick. But sometimes just, we're still at early stages where an RPC could be slower. Some different chains, especially doing stuff that is cross chain, could be slower. So there's things that are outside of your control sometimes as a developer. And being able to mask some of that and give a user experience where you're able to allow the end user to feel like things are happening, things are moving faster, not waiting, is a nice way to hide some of that slowness. And I've talked a little bit about it on some of the previous shows. We did the Wake Up and Ship More shows, where we talked about, building products and how to start to provide better user experience. Eugene here does a great job of summarizing, again, how that's all possible and how he sees it being done to make sure that, again, you're still having that crypto experience, you're still using a wallet, you're doing different things, but also making sure of like how to improve, how to make that experience better, as well as, what are some things that still could be better. So like, what are some pitfalls that are still there? So definitely some great stuff there. And the overall picture of this entire weekend is really about building and being able to have products that drive users who are maybe outside of crypto as well. So that's the type of thing where hopefully you're inspired by watching all these different talks and getting a sense of what's possible. And all of these are here. There's a nice playlist here, so you can go to the Redacted 2024 and see that playlist. If you want to see the full live days, they are under their live tab, but this is at the Near Protocol account, and you can go through and see all the different ones that are here. So good stuff. Really, really exciting event, and I really hope people check this out if they haven't had a chance already. Let me go back though to this page here. So as a builder, one of the things that are going to be helpful if you're looking at building with AI agents in mind, if you're trying to build services that users can leverage, intents are kind of the way to go. And this is not a new concept necessarily, especially in software in general, but definitely not in blockchain. But you can start to see here that the focus with Near is being able to really leverage them for AI to be able to do as much as possible and actually handle different assets if needed. This group here overall, I mean, so some are still coming soon, but like if you jump in to like BitDay and see how they're doing it, and you know, two members from BitDay, both Nate and Microchip, do some excellent presentations from Redacted. You can see those videos online as well, talking about like how they're leveraging some of this stuff and how they're using it, and you can actually build on top of them as well as some of the stuff that Refinance has done to really um, open up some of their APIs and things like that and primitives. If you want to jump in, you can kind of jump into the docs. So as I mentioned, if you haven't built here in a while or you're kind of still new, you can jump into the docs. And let me show that. Here we go. Oh, we don't want this. Docs are organized under just some different categories, but you can always search. You have all this different information about things that you might need. That really I think is pretty exciting. And again, even some of the stuff of like, what are the different primitives that are available? You can start to see what that starts to look like. And then there is now a full AI assistant section. This will continue to be built out. More will continue to add some more stuff, but you can see how this would all go together as well. It's pretty cool stuff. And if you haven't seen already, really want to highlight the new Near Developer Portal. It's really easy to jump in, start building. There's all these different solutions that are right here, how to get started, and any resources that you might need. All here. So really cool stuff and really exciting things as well. Now, a couple things that are really worth noting going forward here. So, disappear myself. There we go. So, a couple things that we are going to continue at DevHub that we have been doing for the hackathon that I think are really great, and I hope you guys continue to enjoy and follow along with. More workshops. More workshops are absolutely coming. So we have a workshop coming next week around privacy building. I believe that's next week. And then we're going to keep talking to different projects that can come on and talk about, again, what are they building? How can you build on top of it? Learning from other projects as well. One of the things here, too, that we want to emphasize is the support part of this. So if you are building something, so if you started at the hackathon and you are early stages still, maybe even late stages. Maybe you just need a little bit of help. Maybe it's over the finish line. We really want you to come in, ask questions. We're here to support the updated stuff around the founder's success. That the presentation I just showed you from Jared Barnes. That will be a big piece of everything that's going on as well. So all of that going together, I think, is going to be really important overall. Some of the other things too that I really want to highlight is that while things have been, I say, changing, a bit on near over the past, 6 to 9 months, you can certainly see now what the vision is and how these different projects like chain signatures and such are all kind of coming together, in how this all starts to work with like AI and things like that. Uh, I would be remiss if I though didn't bring up our weekly newsletter, and I want to highlight some news that's coming out of here. This is our most recent one. You can sign up below. You can see the link at the bottom here. Make sure you're signed up for it. But we're going to keep highlighting some different things that you can build right off the bat. So I just was talking about BitDay a little bit. They have ways to actually take advantage of now their universal accounts. They have put out a whole white paper. I encourage you to check it out. Again, even if you're not going to build on top of it, I think it's great to look at some of these different projects and like get a sense of how are they looking at something. And BitDay is a great example because there's a model of chain signatures that was coming directly from Near, of like, here's what our opinion on how chain signatures should be, and then BitDay kind of took it a little bit different direction. One or the other isn't necessarily more right or wrong. It's just a different approach. It's a different opinion. Software should be opinionated, and so that's what this is. And so it's good to see how other people are taking advantage of some of these things. Again, some of the different accelerator stuff here, but this is actually a little bit new as well. So I'm gonna share this actual thing. So directly in here, let me go to this. So Near Horizon, near HDN, launched Chain Abstraction Accelerator. And so last cohort was AI. This is now focused on cross-chain opportunities in DeFi. So there you can see the teams that are there. Some of this again has to go back to stuff with intents. So all this is like, you can start to see how all this is all coming together and where some of the focus and everything from Near is going. There's a lot of tooling that is improving. There's a lot of effort that's being made to go into again, opening up opportunities here, and this is the part that we put in our newsletter as well. There is now a C library to check out. So if you want to build something that's actually directly integrated into a game using Near, so if you wanted to build a PlayStation game, you can drop the C library right in there. You can see there's a PS3 sample. So cool stuff. We're still doing community calls. That's not changing. Like, we still want the community to become part of what we're doing. So this past Tuesday, we had a community call. There'll continue to be more of them. Tooling is not always the most exciting thing for some people, but it's a really important part of the development process. If you have opinions, if you have questions, if you are just curious of like the direction of where some stuff is going and you just want to listen, again, these are all on DevHub's YouTube page. You can see previous calls, things like that. A couple different examples again, just like BitDay was doing. Here's a different example of like any wallet, any chain, with code samples and things like that. Anytime we have a protocol update, it's going to be in the newsletter. Near Core 2.3 was released. It changes chunk validator kickout threshold, how receipts are stored, computing costs, all those different things. Definitely worth checking out. And then also to some stuff with the Rust and things like that. big news, in Race of Sloths. We've talked about Race of Sloths a few times here. We've had them talk about it on the show. So Axios, which is a JavaScript library, which if you work in JavaScript, you probably know pretty well. It has, again, over 106,000 GitHub stars, is part of the Race of Sloths community. So now if you're contributing to that repo, if you're contributing to that open source project, you can get points there as well. That's exciting. REDACTED. Looking at how to understand what Near is. So the head of content for Near Protocol, Jared, he kind of broke down how he perceives Near. And it's a nice explanation for someone who is not a developer of what kind of Near is today and where Near is going. So you can watch that video as well through that link. Again, this is all in our newsletter that you can access. And then just some upcoming events, which again, I think is always good to see. Now, if you have missed it, if you want to sign up, but you want to see maybe some back issues and things like that. So let me go back to here. So you can sign up for our newsletter here. We've also moved some of our news. So we'll start putting back issues here. If you want to learn more, we have Near Week's awesome stuff as well, breaking down all the different stuff. You can see their recaps as well. They put together a couple of recaps that were really great. If you jump into here, let me show you what this looks like. So if you're not sure what you want to maybe dive into, you can see what are some different things that were going on, what talks maybe you should spend a little bit more time with, stuff like that too. We even have questions around, our bots people too. So I have not watched that one, so curious what that's about. Yeah, and just some kind of key announcements and things like that. So between the stuff that we're putting out and the stuff that Nearweek's putting out, we really have you covered of what's going on in the ecosystem. And I will tell you, there is a lot. So definitely spend a little bit of time and check that out. I really appreciate everyone who had been, reaching out around the different events, people commenting, coming to the different workshops. If you have questions, if you have topics that you want to have addressed, if you're looking for a particular workshop that you would like to see, please let us know. We put everything in archive on our YouTube page. So I definitely encourage you to go and check that out. So just search for Near DevHub or at Near DevHub on YouTube, and you will find it. I'll put up a little banner for that. I'm sure I have that somewhere. Maybe not. Let's just create a banner. So youtube.com/at Near DevHub. There you go. Definitely check that out. Everything, all those workshops and everything else that maybe you missed are there. Those workshops are definitely worthwhile, especially if you're looking to add features to your product, build something new, things like that. If you're coming from another ecosystem, great place to start, kind of jump in as well with all of that. So wanted to make sure that everyone got that highlight here and what was going on. There's just a lot to digest, so take the time, watch some of the videos. If you're still traveling, if you're still at DevCon, and you're at that event, that's awesome. Come back to these next week. Bring us at DevHub different questions. What do you want to see? What kind of support are you looking for? And let's kind of build from there. Again, next week we are back with a workshop around privacy building, which I think is going to be a really interesting one because privacy is something that's kind of misunderstood sometimes in crypto. We talked about this a little bit when we had Calamero on for one of our workshops for the Redacted Hackathon. So we'll talk more about that as well next week. And then going through the end of the year here, lots of great stuff around different content, around tutorials and building and everything else. So we'll have you covered for all of that. It wasn't just for the hackathon, definitely year round. But check out the videos. Tons of great stuff. Lots of good things going on around in your ecosystem. But for now, I think everyone probably needs a little bit of rest, a little bit of catching up. And so make sure you're taking care of yourself. We will keep building. We will still be here. And for DevHub and DevHub Live, I'm Joe, and we will see you same time. Again, it's time if your clock's changed, depending on where you are in the world, still 4 p.m. UTC. We are here each and every Thursday with new and fresh content. So until then, we will see you same time next week. I know.